would refer to this not only as the age of information, but the age of crystals. Crystals are incredibly powerful electromagnetic supports. They're really working with our thoughts. They're amplifying our intentions. All of our technology relies on silicon, and that's derived from quartz. And the wave form that comes out of it, which is piezoelectricity, is a very, very stable form. You know, your phone has loads of different minerals in it. It will have piezoelectricity humming through it, transmitting and receiving. You yourself have this within you. When we consider Lemuria and Atlantis, they were really working with the energy of crystals and to be in alignment with nature. According to Plato and many channels like Edgar Cayce, they were believed to do teleportation, free energy even. We experience the energy of crystals passively, but we can also work intentionally. And to work intentionally means to have a relationship with the crystals. And so again, in my mind, I'm working with a consciousness that is part of Mother Earth and part of nature. So it's really, as a crystal therapist, collaboration. And I find that crystals quite often show me what to do. So a lot of people, you know, they're looking for their spirit team, and absolutely I'm doing exactly the same. But the difference is I regard my crystals as part of my spirit team.
If someone comes to you to be treated holistically, what does that mean?
So, you know, we're not limited to this dense body. We have this tremendous electromagnetic field that is generated from the core of our consciousness, actually, all around us. And within that, there is the spiritual anatomy. You've got these chakras, which are on the spinal column, actually all the way to the head, which are like transducers, not only projecting the person's consciousness, they're also receiving the energy of the environment and also the people around them. We also work with the chakras as well, and so we call those the transpersonal chakras, which are much more soul aligned and about interconnection. But we also work with the meridian system. We work with the auric levels and layers, and so our spiritual anatomy, our chakras, our meridians should always be flowing. When energy stagnates, it becomes disease. Disease manifests mentally, then emotionally, and then physically. It might be that solar plexus is not processing energy at all, you know, because low self-esteem or maybe an intolerance to food. As a therapist, an energy worker, crystal therapist, as much as we are guided intuitively, at all times we're using dowsing to check the quality of what's going on in the meridian.
It's just an informational source. The wand really is an extension of you, and we tend to use clear quartz. And so you and it are just energy merged as one, that is for the highest good of all. So we use that as a transmitter, an amplifier and a receiver. When you feel into the energy body, there's a feeling of your hands are being taken and held where they need to be doing the work. And the pendulum is showing you this is where you need to go. All the life force that they need is washing through them.
When you're making adjustments, transmuting or dissolving blockages, or perhaps it's replenishing energy, or perhaps it's lifting the energy or creating a nice flow in the energy, it always has an effect.
I see you breathing out. There's a lot of energy coming through. So I'm having to allow the energy to flow. Feed that energy to the physical body, the psychological, makeup of the person and of course the spiritual makeup. That's what brings the balance and the harmony. And the crystals themselves are facilitating that. This is Aristia, so we're in Southsea, and having the crystal shop underneath, it just creates this lovely harmonious energy.
Just had a very strong calling to work with crystals in some form or another. And here I am, 32 years later, still deeply involved in crystal healing. Everyone approaches them differently. Some people directly healing in terms of putting them on the body, wearing them as jewellery, carrying them around in pockets. And for other people, there's an aesthetic interest in them. Sometimes there's a feng shui interest in them. And they're also beautiful. So there's lots of people drawn to them just for the sheer beauty of them, and they want that beauty in the house.
Your intention is that their energy is fully grounded.
Kelly is a very, very special being, and she teaches her 2-year crystal healing diplomas here at Aristia. She's also the current secretary of the Affiliation of Crystal Healing Organisations, and we support crystal healers, crystal therapists and crystal schools.
So we're teaching today the year 1 of the practitioner level crystal healing course. And so we're working with the sacred geometry of the Star of David, firstly as a 2-dimensional shape, and then it becomes a 3-dimensional shape, which is a star tetrahedron, and then it becomes a moving field of energy.
I've loved crystals since I was a child, probably kind of as teenage years and things like that take over, not really been very interested, but then as an adult kind of been drawn back to it, been drawn to the moon, crystals, all those kind of things.
It's a spiritual journey. It's about awareness, and to become a therapist or a healer, there's an awful lot of work you've got to do on yourself, taking care of your energy field before you start working on other people.
I do encourage my students to go and do counselling training. I think it's really, really important to be able to really listen and reflect back to someone. The more skills the therapist has, or the more able the therapist is to guide them on to someone else, is really, really important.
Kelly is helping me with my teaching diploma, so it means that I'll be able to help others learn how to become crystal healers.
What's it like experiencing crystal healing? Because when I've had it with Kelly, it's like being attached to the electric grid.
You feel all sorts of energies. You feel the heat of the energy, you feel the tingling of the energy, you can see different colours, and sometimes you can go on different little adventures with your mind. Today, it was simply complete and utter relaxation, which is probably exactly what I needed right now.
Yeah, and sometimes they can feel fizzy on you, or they can feel hot. So the treatment I've just had, I felt really, really hot, and then it calmed down, but sometimes you can feel tingling. Total relaxation. It feels like higher beings are working on you.
I have a complete respect and reverence for every sacred belief, tradition and pathway, and I find them incredibly interesting. So ultimately we're beings of consciousness, and we're only really ever discovering more and more and more about ourselves and about reality and why we're here. And therefore for me, it's always evolving, it's always shifting, it's always changing. And just at that point where I feel like I've got it and I know what life's all about, it's like something new comes in, something I've not discovered, and you reach another level. We have to understand that we're always learning and we never stop. I felt intuitively I had to work with the petrified wood, working with your energy field to really stabilise it, to really strengthen the core of it. We did the Star of David around you. Smoky quartz is wonderful for releasing self-doubt and fear, and it's also incredibly a stabilising, grounding crystal. I was feeling guided to really ground your energy down into the earth, allowing you to really build that root system and connection with the earth with the assistance of the crystals. And also, this core strength that isn't so much a physical thing, but more emotional, mental, resilience and strength. And so like a tree, actually, if I'm really grounded and stable and strong, I'm able to grow and reach higher for the sun. So it's a really, really beautiful, actually, really beautiful. I'm like, I quite like this myself.
people I'm meeting now are a younger generation, a new generation. A lot of young women, of course, influenced by Greta Thunberg and the politics of our time. It is really exciting. And that gives me hope that, you know, this field will continue.
People are becoming aware of their interconnection and how they can work with energies. My feelings is that the quickening is happening now, and that we are in the age of information, which is energy informing us. But currently it's having a detrimental effect on us. It kind of overwhelms us, and it kind of distracts us from who we are. We need to take responsibility for the energy that we're channeling or sharing.
And with all these choppy energies around, you know, we do have these crystals here to help ground us, don't we?
This is green kyanite, and this is red, or sometimes called orange kyanite. The growth patterns are very much up and down, bladed. Specifically, they're really, really good for clearing our energy. At the moment, with so much fear and anxiety and the drama that's around us, you know, this 3D drama, crystals are very stabilizing for us. The energy of the mineral is connecting with that mineral within us, and it's strengthening that mineral within us. This is really heavy iron ore. So hematite is very much about logical thinking. It's very much about groundedness. And then the botroidal form of it, that bubbling effect, is how its energy is coming out of us, this sense of fullness. Igniting the iron within our body, it's bringing us to the earth. It's very much about the ability to focus on something and be present. Someone who was suffering from irrational fears or panic or the inability to concentrate, you know, this would be a crystal, you know, that I might recommend for them. It's grounding.
And this one?
This is obsidian. This is a different form of grounding and protection, as is black tourmaline. If you're not grounded, you're not present, you're not protected. And so anything that makes us really, really present, nature brings us back to the present moment. And so crystals are another nature. And obsidian is formed from a volcano, a shadow work stone. We're recognising, as beings of consciousness, we have something to do here, to experience the depths of our being and to grow in awareness. When people are drawn to work with Moldavite, it's because they're really at a pivotal time in their life where they're ready to really change things around. And the way it's formed is out of space material colliding with earth. It's really a stone of transformation. This stone just sends me out there, you know, it's affecting me just holding it. And then what you've also got is this piece here is Libyan gold tektite, and it's a glass, and Moldavite is a glass. It just feels a lot more gentle. So there's another tektite here, and this tektite's from China. And you can see, you know, it looks completely different, but all three of these, the way they're formed, you feel that energy. The energy communication is a magnetic pull. So, you know, the one that you feel drawn to, and also, you know, you can work with hand sensitivity. So just placing your hands and scanning over them and just seeing if you feel anything, any difference, you know, is there a magnetic pull, is there warmth, is there coolness, is there tingling in the fingers, or is the palm chakra tingling? So that's a sensitivity in the body that we call clairsentience. Is there an emotion that comes up? I mean, mangano calcite is a wonderful, wonderful crystal. Even just holding it, you know, brings me this great sense of warmth. The fact that it's a sphere, it kind of speaks to us of us being whole and acceptance. You know, working with the heart chakra, and I suggest this as a crystal for grief, the loss of, you know, whether that's a loved one, career or opportunity, who knows.
What is that?
Right, this crystal is a smoky quartz. Celestials have really odd, unusual growth patterns. It's a real teacher crystal, this. Being quartz, it allows the light to really penetrate the darkness and expose fears. So not only is it about you doing shadow work and really discovering who you are. So again, it's that spiritual journeying, you know, into every avenue of our being. It's very, very grounding. It's also about transmuting fears.
So I'm really interested in this one. It looks a bit like a 4-leaf clover.
So this here is chiastolite, the pilgrim stone. When I look at this stone, I see the cross, you know, the 4 directions, and also with the solstices and the equinox. And there's a level of alignment that we work with when we work with a cross. And so again, it's that, you know, above, below, you know, to the left, to the right, to the before us, behind us, you know, and it's actually more of an axis.
Which I never saw, which is interesting.
But you saw it as a 4-leaf clover. You've just shown me something, and it is auspicious and good luck. So this is a stone of alignment, being on your path, and it creates alignment within you. So
Interesting.
that's why it's working. It's telling you you're on your path.
This one here, I'm not particularly drawn to that one.
That's ruby.
No.
Honest, that is ruby.
It's really heavy.
One of the ways crystals really work with us is they magnetize us. But equally, if a stone repulses us, that's a stone to work with. Ruby is a stone of power, immense power, and maybe it's about standing in your power. It can be vitality in our physical body. It could be you need a short burst of energy, and ruby would be fantastic for that. If we were to associate it with the chakras, well, of course it's working on all the chakras, because all the chakras are absorbing its energy, but the primary prescriptive association would be the root chakra, which again is about our energy levels. It's about our sense of security, stability. Yeah, it weighs a ton. And so this is labradorite. It's a feldspar, which really translates as fields of light. So it's the unseen light. So it's a little bit like us.
So very good at working on ourselves and delving deep within.
Wholeness, yeah, wholeness, enlightenment, finding that inner beauty, finding out that we have everything that we need already within us. It's just we're not acknowledging it. A lot of people work with labradorite for developing clairvoyance. It replenishes our light, and we get this lovely, robust, bouncy, bright, colourful auric field by working with it.
And how do we cleanse these crystals? The full moon is important, isn't it?
The most potent time is when it's energised by the sun. The sun is bouncing off the face of the moon. It acts like a mirror and it amplifies. And you could say, you know, the solar is the masculine energy, and the moon is always dark, you know, but it's illuminated by the sun. And therefore this is the feminine energy. And so you've got this marriage of divine feminine, divine masculine. The solar energy enables it to go really deep into us and also deep into the crystals. It's pulling the energy up and out of the crystals. We know that the energy lines, ley lines, expand just like the waters. They are reactive to the moon. It's a window of about 3 days either side, actually. You know, and really follow your intuition, because all crystals are different. Crystals quite often like telling you what they want.
Thank you for everything. It's been fascinating.
Thank you for inviting me.
And if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe and share with your community.